real race talk. It's the Revved Up Sports Show talking local, regional, and national action. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
Well, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Revved Up Sports Show, Monday's favorite internet talk show, one of the original ones from Texas. Showtime Bobby Chaffee down south in the Showtime studios. Rodney Rodriguez up north in the palatial Revved Up studios.
Hello,
welcome
friends.
to another wonderful show. How's it going, Rodney? I know that technology-wise, the last 30 minutes of my life has gone to pretty much shit. So how's your life going up there?
Man, it's been, just beating the heat, just doing what we have to do, just diving into a brand new Monday as we get into a full show that we have going on here. We're going to talk to Cam Gaston coming up, Greg Carlucci Jr., and then boom, Evans rejoins, and will talk to us at the end of the evening. But Bobby, the old NASCAR, man, what's going on with that old NASCAR, man? It, we were talking on the Saturday show. It's like Pocono sucks. It's no good. Whatever. That one right there, maybe in the top 3 races of the year, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, Pocono did not disappoint, despite the fact that I thought it might. But definitely one of the better races. I did not get to watch every bit of it because had to take care of a small family emergency dealing with a broken limb that turned out to be, or broken branch that turned out to be 2 fallen limbs.
That's never good.
On my parents' house. So I had to work with that and caught the beginning and the end of the race. But subsequently gone back and looked at the highlights and kind of saw that it had been way more interesting of a Pocono race than what they normally have been.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you had guys all pissed off at each other and a lot of back and forth and just all kinds of mess. All kinds of mess that, I think is really good for stuff. And Denny Hamlin, obviously now the most hated person in the sport. And this is where I go back to so many different times, depending on who does these things. People don't like him in the first place, so it only makes it worse. But he still says nothing went wrong. He didn't touch him or whatever the case may be right there. But
didn't touch him, didn't run him up the racetrack, didn't do anything.
Bottom line.
That's not what I saw, but.
Bottom line for me, I mean, it was very light contact if there was. And yes, I think it was. And that's exactly, what was going on right there. But here's the thing about it. When you get into aero and all these different things, regardless, whatever the case is, and I know there's a lot of people frowning on that, but you know what? This is how we race. This is how we race now. I say that all the time. It's like, and again, depending on who's involved, that's when people are like, oh, he's worthless. He ain't worth the shit or whatever. This is racing. You look at it all across, anywhere. Now it's in NASCAR. You see it in short track racing everywhere. This is how you race. And I'm talking to you guys, and I'm talking to me, and I'm talking to anybody that races. This is racing now. It's a whole different landscape right now.
Yeah, it's definitely the bump and run is now completely acceptable and part of the norm of your normal, typical race action, right? If you're coming down and the guy in second place is 2 to 3 car lengths behind you, if he's close enough to come and get you, guess what? He's going to come get you. It's going to be like the Jaws theme, and they're going to come up, and it's going to be the chomp, 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 boom, boom, boom. If you get 3 booms, normally it's a boom, tap, gone, right?
Yeah.
So that's just right. That's the way we race now. It became pretty apparent. I think the sad part is you see some of it carry over from Bowman Gray. We saw a little bit of that at KSB this weekend with some extracurricular activity like that. But it's becoming, the sad part is it's becoming par for the course, and it doesn't need to be, because at some point, sometimes it does make us look bad to the outsiders.
Well, and we were talking about it the other day to where it always comes down to, okay, all this stuff happens over the weekend and everything happened in there at KRP. And this is something else that I want to touch on. I mean, you had all of that. You had 105. You had so let's talk about this. So Pensacola, you get William Byron gets thrown out. Questionable again. The rules were not followed, but he gets thrown out there. Jeremy Doss wins that Friday night at Pensacola, and then you have the at Evergreen. Preston Peltier wins there in the late models. He gets thrown out, and Then with what you had at 105, I think you had half the damn or almost all of the street stocks getting thrown out. You had everything going on over there at KRP, and it's always the Monday. It's always a Monday where we're talking about everything. The racing action, yeah, the racing was great, but it's really getting into just so much drama right now. And I guess that's good. I mean, I guess that's good, but it starts at the top. And here we are, the world's on fire with what NASCAR's doing, but we're already getting messages talking about KRP stuff, and it's like, boom, there you go. I mean, that's what we're doing these days.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's it's the sad truth. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's and it's this sport is we understand that we're not trying to be hypocritical here. We understand that this sport is very, very emotional. We've both been there. We enjoy the emotional part of it. We've been on both sides. We've been on the good side of emotion. We've been on the bad side of emotion. We've experienced highs and lows with these racers over the course of the last 20 years of announcing or so. But it's the sport is very emotional. It's not emotionless, but sometimes you got to learn to control the emotion. It's not quite as simple as just bumping up against an official or hauling ass through the infield or running across the infield to tackle somebody like you see at Bowman Gray. There's not really a place for that. But I understand why tempers get out of hand.
I do too. I do too. And that's a whole thing. And I mean, I'm not going to pull any punches. I mean, a lot of this stuff is stupid. I mean, and I really do think that this all comes down to, we talk a lot, and great timing right there. I think it just kind of popped in right there as to where this is where we blow the horn of IMCA all the time. It's like IMCA and all of this, and people kind of frown upon the asphalt to where, it's no good because IMCA does this and USRA does this. Okay, here you go, IMCA, because hey, they're always available on the phone, right? I mean, how many times have we heard that? It's like, if I got a question on the rules, I call them and they answer right away. This is where, in that situation, they need to get involved. They need to get involved and do something with that. And I know we have situations everywhere to where it's like, okay, it's up to the racetrack to police themselves, and that's a whole thing, because the racetrack's going to get beat up. It doesn't matter what happens. I mean, we saw it a couple of weeks ago. Whatever the racetrack does, right or wrong, gray area, green area, black area, brown area, whatever the case is, the racetrack is never going to be in the right. And we get on here, and Monday, it's like, boom, here we are leading off of stories with all this, but it starts at the top. I mean, look, and I know that we don't emulate anybody in NASCAR, but when we see people doing this stuff, and I think this is where it goes back to, Bobby, something we've talked about a lot of different times, is the younger drivers that we see, when they see certain individuals or stars or veterans, whatever, doing stupid shit, it's okay. It's okay. And there's no respect. There's no responsibility. That's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem in this sport.
Well, and it's not just relegated to young drivers with big checkbooks.
No.
I mean, the no responsibility and no respect is we've seen it through all the levels, everything from junior minis to
everything, yeah,
to eco stocks to everything in between. It's like I don't know how where it fell off the rails a little bit, the whole no respect type of thing, but there really isn't. There's no respect given, no respect earned, no matter what you do. Like if you basically get shit on if you're a nice guy to try to finish second.
Yeah.
If you want to do it the right way by not beating somebody out of the way, your friends and your racing buddies will be like, you should have knocked him out of the way. But that's not how you win. No, you should have knocked him out of the way. That's how you win nowadays.
Well, and the other part, when it comes to track officials and all of this stuff, they're in charge. They are in charge. That's their job. And again, I think this is why people don't. When we say it's their job, it's like, okay, it's their job, but again, it's not their job. They're doing this for us. They're doing this for us. And this all comes down to this. It's the same thing with people in the grandstands. When you get up there and you're going to be acting a fool, I mean, come on. And Shane checking in right there. I get that. I drive people the way they drive me. I totally get that. And that's okay. That is totally okay for that. But the thing about it, that's not a bad mindset to me, because I mean, that's the way I raced. That's the way I raced.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair way to look at it.
It's totally fair. But now it's like what you just said. Nobody drives each other with respect. It's like, hey, man, I'm going to be respectful to you. It's always like when you hear somebody saying, I'm going to drive you like you drive me, it's always, I'm going to put you in the infield or in the tractor tire, in the fence or something, because they've done that to you. And that's the biggest problem that we have right now that needs to get fixed. Man, you people know this. These things aren't cheap. This shit ain't cheap. And, the more these 5-hour shows, because we can't get racing done in a timely manner, Bobby, I say it all the time. Man, if I want to sit at the track all damn night, that's my problem. If I want to go to Corpus and sit the Turn 5 bar until they run me out of there, that's great. If I want to go sit in the parking lot and drink Coors Light until there's no more, ever, anywhere, that's my problem. But I don't want to be watching racing for 5 hours. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, we talked about it before. A racing program needs to be done at 11 p.m. at the latest. No matter how many classes you have, even if you have a bad night. I mean, we were done at 11 o'clock at Texana the other night. Had kind of a late start, had 2 extra classes that we normally don't have, had a car barrel roll down the backstretch there in turn 3, kind of threw us off the whole program. But, realistically, we still got done at 10:59, which is that borderline ending, late time ending. Most shows need to start about 7, and I get it's hot. But they need to go from about 7 to about 10 o'clock. And that's the sweet spot that we found over the course of the years, talking to fans, talking to racers, because the racers want to get out of there too.
And the thing is, I mean, it really does come down to that we see this over and over. I mean, it's over and over, and it's horrible for the promoter, because back in the day, I mean, it really was a situation to where the promoter could kind of take it, promoter or track operator, whatever you want to call it, owner, whatever the case is, they could take it and handle the situation. I mean, I saw it several times, but now it's always you're going to be waiting. You're waiting for the outcry. You're waiting for the bottom to fall out because of this. I mean, because we're going to sit on here and talk about it on Monday, and people are just going to be blowing the place up as it's going. I mean, it's in real time. It's in real time, and I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I know we talk to a lot of different, some of our best friends of this show are race promoters and operators, but you look at that stuff. You look at that stuff, and the whole thing comes down to people are not going to contact you directly. They're going to go straight to this. I mean, they're going right here. I mean, that's where all the answers are, and a lot of times it's people that have no involvement, haven't been around forever, and that's a problem. And I see people saying that it's repetitive with the same thing at different places, and that's not the track's problem. I mean, it is in the sense that it continues to happen, but it's the problem there is the customer, the drivers, the teams. And I love you all, but you guys get out there and show your ass and keep doing it. You're making your place look really bad. And I'm not pointing out KRP. I'm talking about any racetrack when you have it over and over and over.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. I mean, like Shane has said on the feed, that sometimes the racetrack will say let the drivers handle it. Well, you can't do that anymore. Because the drivers are going to handle it the wrong way. Generally,
they're going to handle it on the Facebook. I mean, that's back in the day when it was like you could let the drivers handle it. Yeah, they're going to go to the Speedorama. They're going to go to the VFW and handle it and do whatever they're going to do. And it's not about beating each other up or doing any of this stuff. There's just no respect for anybody, for the officials, for the drivers, for nothing. And that sickens me, because we're better than that. I mean, if we were sitting here messing around, playing with, something that cost, $100 each time you go out there to mess around and just get after it, that's one thing, guys. But this is a lot of money. This is a lot of money, and you guys. I mean, we're our own worst enemy. Is what we are, and that's stupid. And that's
coming to rules and keyboard warriors. That's the problem, right? It used to be that the racers would break their necks to get rules to their advantage because they wanted it here and there. Or they wanted a lower class to have an upper class shock rule or whatever. So we're our own worst enemy there. And now you get yourself, your team, your aunt, uncle, everybody involved on a keyboard just because you're trying to get your point across. That's not helping anything either.
And the thing is, whether it's rules, whatever the whole thing, if they get you on rules and they throw you out, okay. Contact them and handle it. Don't go to the keyboard and do it there, because you're just making it worse. you're just making it worse. And that's
you got to stay away from the keyboard when you're emotional.
Exactly. And if you're doing this too, on top of the keyboard, I've been there. I do that. Stay off of that thing. Let's go to the hotline. First time tonight, and boy, coming in hot. This poor dude.